Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Coming back to you tonight. Here I am. And oh my god, that was horrible. I'm sorry. Y'all, welcome back to another edition of the From the Hard Place series. So we're in night 4 of my 7-day series of talking about how to speak, how to choose, how to believe, and how to start from the hard place. So I can't recap enough about what a hard place looks like. At this point, if you have watched me up until this point, you already know that everybody's hard place looks a little different. And, it just dawned on me as I was working on some of my notes and stuff for tonight. I'm like, Tori, you're really going in real biblical, real spiritual. And, a lot of people, I have different viewers, right? I have people from all different faith walks who watch me. I have people from all different uh, life paths right now that watch me. And I know people are like, okay, well, why are you coming off so spiritual? Well, let me just be very candid with you. I am a Christian, okay? I am a full-fledged believer. And what I truly believe, you can find anyone else and they'll tell you whatever they're gonna tell you. But for me, when it comes to talking about coming from a hard place, one thing that I've discovered is that no matter how hard you run away from God, you always find yourself right back there. Even if, like, you ever notice when, like, something happens, if something falls down and breaks, people, they typically say, what? Oh my God. Without even thinking, it's just an unconscious reaction. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And it all just surfaces right back to our Creator. And sometimes, what I've realized is that when we get ourselves in hard places, like when we personally put ourselves in hard places, a lot of the time it's because of our failure to ask God, or our failure to go to God, or our failure to, move in that right path. So for me, anybody else can give you whatever else they want to talk about. But as for me, in my house, okay, all right. So anyway, y'all, welcome back to another edition of the From the Hard Place series. Like I said, we're in night 4. If this is your very, very first time coming onto this channel, well, I just want to say welcome. Come on in and stay for a while. Make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and become a vocalist. That's what I call all of my subscribers, because I believe that everybody has a voice and everybody has a story. It's just for us to tap into our power to be able to share it. So yeah, definitely become a vocalist today. Hit the subscribe and also hit the bell, because you want to make sure you stay up on every single notification as it comes. With that being said, we are going to dive straight in to the meat and potatoes of what we're here to talk about. So night 4, and in these last 2 nights in particular, I've done a lot of talking about speech, right? We talked about our speech life and how important it is to make sure that we are speaking positive things, make sure that our speech life is very healthy, make sure we're saying things that bring life. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yesterday, I gave us, like, some thoughts to ponder, and those questions, again, you do not have to answer them in the comments unless you're absolutely comfortable. But literally, you can pause this video, you can write these questions down, and as we begin to speak, especially about things that concern us, especially about things in the future, sometimes we can prematurely kill our destiny, our dreams, our goals, just by the words that are coming out of our mouth. So the questions that I asked you guys yesterday to ponder before you speak is: do my words bless or curse my future? Do my words bring life to my situation, my current situation? And am I stagnant because of what I'm saying? So ask yourself those questions every time you begin to speak about things, especially future things. Ask yourself those questions. Like, before I say this, is like, what kind of stamp of approval am I putting on it? Am I grading it an A? Am I grading it an F? You know what I'm saying? We can grade our own future with our words. Like, literally, we can flunk ourselves out just by saying the wrong things. So be wise in what you're speaking over yourself and over your future. Because, yes, we believe in God, who's all powerful, but literally he gave us free will. And a part of that free will is our free speech. That's literally an amendment. Like, that's not even Bible, that's an amendment. You have freedom of speech. You can say what you want, but understand that there are consequences that come with it. So if we speak positive, we're attracting positive. If we're speaking negative, we are attracting negative, right? So just like law, right, and the Constitution and all the amendments and all that good stuff, you got the freedom of speech, but how are you going to exercise your freedom? So I spent a good deal of time in these last couple of days talking about speech and the importance of your speech life being healthy and, things of that nature. But today it's like I spent so much time on that because, like, literally that's a ground principle for everything else we're going to talk about for the rest of these couple days. So today, like I said, the premise of what we're here to talk about through this whole series is learning how to speak, choose, believe, and start from that hard place. So we talked about speaking, how we can speak from a hard place. Even when everything looks bad around us, we still are going to choose to speak well. Well, guess what? Now we're going to talk about the choice. Okay? Now, when we talk about your speech, right, having good speech, I know I said in one of my videos that sometimes you have to lie to yourself, okay? And I stand on that. I stand on that. And I'm not saying you're necessarily lying to yourself, but you are kind of, in a sense, lying to your situation. Like, my example was, our bank account may not be busting out the seams right now, but we need to speak well of our finances, right? So you may not have it. Your bank account may be in the red right now, but don't speak that over yourself. Don't keep dwelling on the fact that I'm broke, I don't got no money. You got to say things like, my money is loading. My money is on the way. Checks are clearing for me. A better opportunity is coming for me. A better job is coming. I'm going to get that raise. We got to speak those things into existence, right? But as we're speaking it kind of goes against reality, because reality says, you don't got nothing in this bank account. What are you talking about? But we're speaking because we want to pull that in. We want to attract that in. We want to have faith that it will be what we said it will be, right? So it's kind of lying to your circumstances, but speaking into your future. And you have the choice to believe it or not. Like, if you ever seen an actor or an actress and, like, they're so good, they're spitting their lines so good that it feels like it's real, right? You're speaking your truth so heavy, even if it's not your current situation, you're speaking your truth so heavy that you can, it looks believable, right? But you know what's in your bank account. So you have the choice to believe what you're speaking, right? You have the choice to agree with your words or to not. You can literally choose to not agree with your words and begin to just fall back into bad speech patterns. Or you can choose to believe what you're saying and move with it. Believe what you're saying and continue to speak it, right? I know this is making sense. I just hope that, like, you're getting it. That's why I keep, like, repeating it, Because for some people, like, this is going to go over your head, but like, once you begin to speak affirmations into your life, once you begin to speak positive things in your life, they're just words on paper. You can write down a list full of affirmations, but they are just words on a paper until you make the conscious decision to believe them. You're making the choice to make them not just a script, but a reality. You are choosing. You literally, I'm telling you, life has an alternate ending. Okay? Run it back, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, when we had like DVDs and stuff, and you'd be watching like the Terminator or the Matrix or whatever on DVD, on Blu-ray, and you would get to the end, or maybe sometime in the beginning, they give you two options. You can, watch the alternate ending. You can watch the regular version, or you can watch the alternate ending. Sometimes they film the alternate ending, and you can see how, if you took the blue or the red pill, or if he went down this hallway instead of that hallway, you can kind of see what would happen, what could possibly happen in the alternate ending. Same is true with life. You have the option to choose what ending you want. Do you want to walk in prosperity? Do you want to walk in happiness? Do you want to walk into a good relationship? I know your track record may show that every relationship you've ever been in has been broken, has been drama, has been some nonsense. Whether it's you and your nonsense bringing it in, or whether it's a person that you were with, but every relationship has been a mess. But you have the conscious decision to say, you know what? I know it's been like this always, but I'm choosing today to turn it into something different. I'm choosing to speak better. I'm choosing to make better choices that will lead me into a better alternate ending. Or you could choose to keep on doing your same thing and keep on having your type and keep on going down that same road and reliving them old relationships over and over and over and over and over again with new people. So everything is about a choice. Literally, everything is a choice. You get to choose. One thing that I love about God is that, like, He literally gives us free will. Okay, gives us free will. Y'all don't hear me though, but I'm gonna bring some Bible to y'all just so that y'all get the context of what I'm saying. Look down below. Joshua 24 verse 15 says, "And if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve." Choose ye this day. That's Bible. Like, God has the power to snap His fingers and make us do something, but does He? No. Because He could easily make everybody just bow down before Him and serve Him, worship Him, and all that. But what fun is that? Like what joy? Not fun, but what joy does that bring? It's kind of like, let me take it away from a spiritual aspect. It's kind of like relationships, right? If you had the power to make, we all have somebody who we want, but we know we can't have. If you had the power to snap your fingers and make that person fall in love with you, make them do everything that you want them to do, make them act right? It would be cool, but wouldn't you, somewhere in the back of your head, feel a way that, like, I'm making this person be with me, I'm forcing this person to be here, this is against their will, this is something I'm making them do, so this is not necessarily real. You get what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't it feel kind of bad to know that the love that you're getting is artificial? It's not genuine. It's not truly coming from them, right? Like, I feel like that would be the same concept if God was just take us and make us serve Him. Like, what joy would that bring Him? God gets joy when He's able to get the glory out of us, which means that we are willing vessels, willing to serve Him, willing to love Him. It says right there, boom, right there in the text, if you think that it's evil, if it's not your thing, if you're like, okay, I don't believe, okay, cool, choose. You got the right to choose this day who you will serve. But like I said earlier, there is a good and bad repercussion for everything that we do. So choose your road. Choose your road. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I've gotten when it comes to coming up out of a hard place is that making the choice to give a high praise has been the biggest thing for me. It's been my biggest triumph and my biggest struggle. My biggest triumph because in the moments where I'm able to push past myself and my own situation, in the moments where I'm able to just go hard and pray even though I want to go to sleep, or do something nice for somebody even though I would rather keep my money in my pocket, but God put it on my heart to maybe give somebody something, bless somebody with something, help somebody out when they needed help. But I would much rather take that money and do my nails. I would much rather take that money and go get a massage. I like to eat. I would have rather take that money and take it to go get some oxtails or some like Red Lobster or something, or maybe I wanted to buy a nice bottle of Moscato, but I took that money and I invested it in someone else because God put it on my heart to do that, right? That's where it's been a triumph for me, because I've been able to push past my own desires, push past my own wants, or push past even what I thought was my own limitations to do the things that God would want me to do. That's where it's been my triumph. It's been my greatest struggle, because what I've come to realize about myself, and this is probably why I kept ending up in hard places, right? Because the spirit would tell me, my spirit would tell me to move and do the will of God, but my flesh is weak. You feel me? My flesh is weak. My flesh is like, well, we really want to get our nails done. We really want that Moscato. We really want to just chill. We don't want to be bothered with people right now, right? So in moments where I blatantly disregard what I feel like God was pushing me towards, or even when I'm in church and I'm going through something and I just don't feel like, I don't feel like clapping. I don't feel like singing. I don't feel like getting involved in the worship. I'm just like, ugh, that's where it's my greatest struggle, because finding the strength to push past what you're feeling. Like maybe you just had a problem at your job. Maybe you just had a bad breakup. Maybe you just had some money issues. Maybe you're still in whatever, the problem is. It's very hard sometimes to find the strength to be like, you know what, God, even in this, I'm going to trust you. Even in this, I'm going to praise you. Even in this, I'm going to just keep on giving and doing for people because that's what you're calling me to do. Like, it's very hard to push past your own self and your own desires, your own wants, and your own, even what we feel is our own limitations, right? But that's where putting a high praise comes in, because I've heard the term high praise all of my life, but it really set in with me in these last few days, because a high praise, right? My definition of a high praise is a praise that's higher than me, right? Like my bills and my relationship life and my job life and everything, that concerns me is so high. It's so high. But I have to find a praise, a prayer that's bigger than all of that. That's bigger than everything that I could possibly be feeling in that moment. Not to say that it's not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that the problem's going to be gone when you're done worshiping and you're done praying. Not to say that the money is going to automatically be in the account. Not to say that your feelings don't count, because our feelings do count. Our feelings count. And he feels what we feel. You get what I'm saying? It's never to discredit you, but it's only to build you. Because when you go into fellowship with with God, when you go into that place of that deep praise, that high praise, that praise is higher than your circumstances, that praise is higher than the disappointment, it's higher than everything that tells you just go crawl up in bed and die, that praise is bigger than suicide, that praise is higher than anxiety, that praise that is higher than your depression, that praise that allows you to keep on speaking well, even when everything tells you that's not real, you're tripping, you're lying to yourself. That praise is bigger than the voices in the back of your head telling you to quit. That's where a high praise comes in. It's literally a sacrificial praise, like for real. Like, God, I have nothing else. I ain't got no money to put in no offering plate, okay? I got nothing but this praise, but this worship, but this prayer. Even if I just lay before you and all I can do is cry, God, I have this praise just for you. That's all I got in me. I'm gonna give it to you. And you'll be so surprised at what God does with that. There's a story, it's one of my favorite stories in the Bible, where it talks about the prophet who walked upon the widow and her child, and they were at their last. I'm talking about like they were ready to just throw in the towel. They was like, we're broke, we don't have nothing, we're very poor, like I'm a widow, we ain't got nothing. This is my last little bit of cornmeal and oil. She was about to make some little, flitters and keep it going. She was about to eat her last meal and just give up. Her and her son, they was about to eat what would have been their last meal, and then they would have just been in there starving to death, waiting for death. But the prophet said, make that last meal and give it to me. I know you think this is your last, but give it to me. And that's literally, oh my God, that's literally what God is saying. I know you think that this your last tear, this your last jump, this is all you got in you. You ready to just give up and die, but God says, give it to me. Just give it to me. And watch me multiply it. Just give it to him and watch him take it and turn it into something. God is really moved by our praise. He's really moved by our prayer life. He's really moved, and honestly, not to say that when you are good, that he's not moved by your prayer. Not to say when everything is working in your favor, your praise is not adequate. But it's something about that war cry. It's something about that I'm down, I'm out, and I'm tired, I'm frustrated. It's something about that I can't do this no more that moves God. When you feel like you're done. It's something about that type of praise and that worship and that prayer and that reach for God that absolutely moves the heart of God. So as we're trying to move out of our hard place, don't forget to give that sacrificial praise. Don't forget, and this is a big one. I literally have like 2 points tonight, and I'm getting out of y'all face. I'm on point number 2. Oh yeah, I'm on point number 2, and that is a big struggle for me. It is fighting against rebellion. I'ma just keep it funky with you guys. I have a rebellious spirit, okay? I have a rebellious spirit. I want what I want, when I want it, how I want it. And, that can be a bit of a tug of war when you're dealing with a God who also wants what he wants, when he wants it, and how he wants it. Both of the wills can't like, somebody gonna lose here. And one thing I know is it won't be God. So for me, I had to come to the conclusion that I have this really rebellious spirit. I want to do what I want to do. I want what I want when I want it. But I had to really pray. I have to continuously pray and ask God to help me to submit to his will. replace my words with your words. Even with this platform, can I be candid with you guys? It was very hard for me to get to this place to speak so freely about Christ. It was very hard because I would think like, I want to go so far. I want to be on all these different platforms. I want to work with these people. I want to be, in these magazines. I want my writing and my video journalism to go so far. If I put myself in a Christian box, then I'm not going to be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish, So I would constantly use my own voice opposed to using the voice of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would constantly do things on my own accord, even with my platform, without, and my mom would say this to me. She'd be like, you have that whole platform and you don't even, you call yourself a Christian, you don't even talk about God. You don't even mention it. And I was like, well, I don't want to throw God down people's throat. And it's true. I don't. Every single video that y'all see from me won't be, this. There are going to be some little unboxings, some makeup videos, some travel vlogs, But I had to understand that I need to be true to who I am. I can't pretend for people. I can't worry about what people are going to say, because one thing that God is calling, He's calling us to be the salt and light of the earth. He's calling us to stand out. And if I gotta sacrifice some views, or maybe some people won't subscribe to me, or maybe I won't get certain deals because of my beliefs, I have to just sacrifice it and understand that God will take me higher than where I thought it was gonna go. You know what I'm saying? If you trust Him, if you lean on Him and not your own understanding, right? If you stop rebelling against His will and you go ahead and let Him take over and do what He wants to do with your life and through your life, you will be a bigger blessing than you ever thought that you could, on your own. I really pray before I do the Daily Nugget. I really pray before I come on here and I do series like this right here. I pray before I write. I even pray before, I go to open mics and stuff, because even though my content may not always be Jesus, it's very important that I am who I am, unadulterated. I am who I am. I understand that I'm human, okay? We don't always make the best choices. I'm human. I'm regular like everybody else. But it's very important that I don't back down off of my faith and I don't hide it to try to appease people, make people comfortable. I know the God that I serve. I know what He's done for me and who He is to me. So how dare I try to push Him to the back like He's not the one that gave me this gift. You know what I'm saying? So my spirit would rebel against what I know that God was calling me to do. God was like, I want you to have a voice. I want you to be a media personality. I want you to be everything that you want to be, but I also want you to speak my word. I also want you to be not only a poster child for what you got going on, but I want you to be a representative for Christ everywhere that you go. And I was really scared to be that, because one, I knew I had problems. I knew I was still falling into stuff. I knew I wasn't, picture perfect, and I didn't want, I was scared of what people would say, but He just kept pushing me and telling me, like, I put you there. They didn't put you there. There's nothing they could do to knock you off. I put you there. Do what I said. So I'm doing what He said. So if y'all feel the way that this video was a little churchy, then I'm sorry. I'm doing what He said. So we have to move away from our spirit of rebellion, because rebellion will only lead us down a road of destruction. Rebelling against, you can choose. Literally, everything goes back to choice. And I know that it seems like it's not a choice, but it really is. It really is. You can choose to just do you, or you can choose to follow God's plan for your life. You can choose to continue to put yourself in a hard place, continue to make rough decisions, continue to, do what you do. Or you can ask God to help you. You can say, all right, you know what? I'm tired of doing everything my way. I'm tired of running into brick walls. I'm tired of creating brick walls for myself. God, show me. I'm going to listen. I'm going to hear you. You show me, because I obviously can't do it on my own. You know? This right here, this scripture right here. But if you turn your heart away, if you turn your heart away from God, if you turn your heart away from His will, but if you turn your heart away, am I reading that right? I'm sorry. But if if your heart turns away, which is essentially the same thing, but if your heart turns away and you will not hear and obey, but are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them. There is a comma, because then it goes into verse 18 and it talks about what can happen when you move away from the protection of God. We talked about that yesterday in part 3 a little bit, when we talked about God being our refuge, and how when we move from that refuge, we're open to the elements. We talked about that. So go ahead back and watch that video if you didn't catch it, part 3. But in this part 4, if you turn your heart away, because again, everything is a choice. You can choose to set your heart, you can choose to set your heart with the things of God, or you can choose to turn away and just do you. But if you should turn your heart away, right, and choose to not hear, not obey, which is what essentially leads us to what? The hard place. Choose to turn away, don't hear, don't obey, it's whatever. Cool. This will draw you away. You may turn away, but once you turn away, it can draw you away. It's kind of like a rip current, a tide. You swimming out, even the deep a little bit, it's like shoulder level water. You out here, you swimming, you're good. But then those currents, right? You turned away from the shore. You swim out to where the water is about that high. You turned that way. But that ocean is about to draw you into deeper waters that you did not see coming. Okay? That current is about to snatch you into a place that you may not be able to get out of. Now, when it says you will be drawn away and worship, you'll begin to worship other gods and serve them. Now, other gods don't always necessarily have to be like another faith, right? Your other gods can literally be your alcohol. It can literally be now don't get me wrong, alcohol is not the devil, money is not the devil, right? It's when we abuse these things, right? So go on and get your drinky drink, just drink responsibly. But anyway, anything can be a god. Your money can be a god. Like when you put money above everything else, your family, your everything, literally, your money is everything. That's what makes you go. That's a god. Your job. If everything is your job, you miss your kids' recitals, you miss church, you everything. Nothing else matters because you're so bent on going to that job. Why? Because you want that money, or you want the notoriety, you want the pay raise, you want, to be like the employee of the month. Whatever your thing is, that job has become your god. A relationship. If you love your partner more than you love yourself, or if you don't have a partner, but you just idolize the idea of a relationship so much that you will be willing to give yourself up, and you'll put yourself in a bad situation with people who are not even equipped to love you for real, but you just want to be with somebody so bad, and you just want that relationship, and you just want something. You have now made the idea of romance, the idea, like something so beautiful, because I do believe that people We're not made necessarily to be just singular. I feel like God created us, and there is a person out there for each and every one of us, right? It's a beautiful thing. Commitment is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. Finding your partner, that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But when we take it to the step where we are like super infatuated over it, that's the only thing we think about, that's it for us. Like, we will sacrifice our own self just to be with somebody. That's when it becomes dangerous. That's when it becomes almost a hazard, because at this point you're so taken by a person, you could do anything from suicide, homicide. It get real crazy real quick. But you've essentially made that your God. So when it says that, when you turn away, it can draw you away and draw you to worship other gods. Like, when you turn your heart, because literally the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom, right? So if you're not seeking him first, then what are you seeking? All these other things become your God. And we have to really be careful of that. Really be careful, because that can put us in a harder place. If money is everything to you. Money, the love of money, right? Not money itself. Money itself is not the root of all evil. I think we've really just over misinterpreted that scripture forever. No, money is not the root of all evil. Okay? It's not. Because wealth, especially in the Black community, is everything. We need to be educating ourselves on that. We need to be figuring it out. We need to be cracking the codes and crunching the numbers, okay? Because if we have the funds to better ourselves, we can change our family legacy. We can change our life. We can be able to be a bigger blessing, right? So anyway, that's just my sidebar there. It's not money that is the root of all evil. It's the love of it. And when money, you love it so much that you make it a God in your life, like, that's where you begin to put yourself in the hard place. Because money is the energy. Money depreciates. Inflation going crazy. Recession, all that. Now we don't believe. Okay, we understand those things, but we don't believe those things, right? As faith-based people, we understand what's happening in the world around us, but we're not letting it shake our faith. We're not letting it destroy us and get us so bent out of shape. We trust God. We know that he gonna work it out, and we're also making plans and preparing ourselves to be, ready for whatever. But, what happens hypothetically when the person who made money their God, all their stocks drop? Like, their money in their bank, somehow their account get hacked or something, and now they got $600 left. They go from 6 figures to $600. Like, when money is your God, now you're in a super hard place. I really think, even if you have all the faith in the world, if something like that happens to you, of course it's going to shake you. Of course you're going to be like, whoa, what's going on? But when you trust God and you believe him, even when things like that happen, you're going to be shook. You're going to be hurt. But you're going to believe that, you know what, God, this is wild. And I'm going to need a minute to mentally recover from this, what just happened. But you're going to trust God enough to know that even though the worst things are happening in your finances, God is still God enough to put you right back up on your feet. So now what you got to do, begin to speak again, okay? Begin to choose to believe God again, right? And just start from there. Write your plan out. Like, everybody should have a doomsday plan, for real. Like, if I lose everything today, what's my step 1, step 2, step 3? What do I do to get back? You know what I'm saying? And that's not even on a spiritual tip. That's just in life. I just believe everybody should have a plan as to what they're going to do if things go left. We definitely got to have that. That's why we invest in things like life insurance. That's why having health insurance is very important. You may have the perfect bill of health. And this is total sidebar right now. You may have the total bill of health. You know what I'm saying? but we invest in having health insurance because you never know what can happen. You invest in life insurance. You may be young and boop, 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 but you never know, God forbid, what can happen. You want to make sure that your family is going to be all right and they're not stressing out about how to bury you and all that good stuff. We invest in different things. We invest in like lawyers and CPAs and things, especially when you own a business, because you never know. You don't plan to get sued. Nobody plans to get sued. Nobody's like, I'm gonna get sued today. But we invest in having these things in place just in case. You know what I'm saying? That's wise. That's wisdom. Yeah. So I believe everybody should, have a plan, right? But when we trust in God, we understand that yes, we have a plan, as you should, just like a fire escape plan, right? A tornado plan, right? Just like we have those plans, we have like just in case plans, plan A, B, and C. But when we trust God, when we believe in Him, when we're leaning on Him, you can have all those plans, but you know that your plan A, above all that, is the fact that God is your Father. Jesus is there. The Holy Spirit is guiding you. You are going to be straight no matter what. He's going to have your back. You're going to be okay. It's going to be well no matter what. Trust. Choose to trust. Choose to trust. And literally that's like the end. That's all I have for today's session. I really, really hope that you got a lot of value out of this video. If you stayed this long, now usually I chop it up and here and there I'll remind people to subscribe, but I just really been on I've been on a tangent tonight. And I really just want to encourage you that if you got anything out of this, if you got any key points, if you were feeling something that I said, drop it in the comments. Talk to me. Let me know what's up. Let me know. But if you took notes, drop some notes in the comment section, yeah, all that. And definitely become one of the vocalists. I want you to stay for a long time. You guys, come and be one of the vocalists. Again, that's what I call my subscribers, if you didn't catch it in the beginning. So I call my subscribers vocalists because I believe we all have a voice. And God has called us to use that voice to tell our interesting and different, unique stories. We just have to tap into the power to be able to tell that story. So, come on, join us. Be a vocalist today. I want to thank you guys so much for even clicking this video, getting in here, and getting this value that I've been trying to add. This has been part 4 of the From the Hard Place series. I hope that you definitely enjoyed it. Please make sure you share it with someone. Again, make sure you hit subscribe, become a vocalist today, and hit the bell so you can stay up on all notifications. Y'all, it's been beautiful. Love you guys. I hope that y'all have a wonderful night, and I'll catch you in part 5. Peace, guys. Have a great one.